Today's video, today's lesson, we're going to be talking and discussing a phrasal verb that certainly has had applicability and meaning in my own life. This phrasal verb has two meanings. The first, to raise your voice loudly and distinctively. And the second meaning is to freely express your opinion without fear of being judged or criticized by others. Now, you might ask, what is this phrasal verb? What is it? Speak up. Speak up. So again, I could use this, and I'm going to use this to give you an example. One example of the phrasal verb could be like, speak up, Teacher Will. I cannot hear what you are saying. Or I could say, you know what? With respect to me, it's just my opinion, my belief, but I am going to speak up when I see or I encounter injustice or maltreatment of other people. That might not necessarily be popular or something that you might choose not to do, but you know what? If I notice that there is an injustice or someone is being discriminated against based on who they are or how they sound or their accent, I choose to speak up. That's me. But one thing that I was thinking about as it relates to people in their own life, and certainly as it relates to English, what prevents people or impedes people or stops people from speaking up? Many different factors. Some factors that come to my mind: fear, lack of confidence, not having enough words to express themselves in English, or even the possibility of being criticized or judged by other individuals. And sometimes those individuals are the closest to us. Now you might say, what are you talking about? Well, let me share something personal with you. During the course of my life, I have not always spoken up. That's true. That's real, contrary to popular beliefs. Why didn't I? Well, if I'm honest with myself, I didn't feel or think as though that what I had to say was important. That someone would even take me seriously. And I had fear, and I was afraid that I would be criticized and judged by others. So I kept my thoughts and my feelings to myself. And if I'm even more honest with myself and with you, I did not think that I was even worthy of doing that. I had low self-esteem. And the only way that I moved was a decision to move. But the only way that I moved from that particular mindset was by having an honest and real conversation with myself. It was an opportunity for me to say, listen, you can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself. I made a decision to sit back and say, you know what? It's time for me to do the work for me and about me and to keep it 100. I did inventory, I did an assessment, and I had to realize and recognize that, you know what? I am worth it. And that's still a process. I still have my bad days, but I recognize and realize that, you know what? I cannot expect anyone to speak up for me except me. Now you might ask the question, what does this have to do with your life? And in addition to that, what does that have to do with your English journey? Well, here's a thought and here are some suggestions. You have an opportunity, if you want, a choice, a decision, to ask yourself the question, maybe it's not you, but maybe it's other people that you know in your life. Why do you choose not to speak up if people are criticizing you based on how you sound? Why is it that you choose not to speak up if you decide to watch content on various social media that might be humiliating you or dehumanizing you? Why don't you speak up? That's something that you have to think about. But in this video, at this moment, I want you to challenge yourself, and I invite you to do the following. Speak up and own your English. That doesn't mean that you will not make mistakes. That does not mean that you will not get frustrated. But you need to speak up and own your English. Why? Because no one, at least in my opinion, in my experience, no one is going to save you. If you don't speak up for your English, then why would you expect or think that someone is going to do it for you? That means when I say speak up, that means you have to take accountability for your learning. Speak up and own your power. Your power. Stop giving your power away to other people that are not part of your family, whether biological or chosen family. Speak up and own your power in English. For most of you listening to this call, this language, English, is a global international language, and it's not your mother tongue. Own your power. Did you ever sit back and think about the progress that you've made in your English journey? Have you ever gave yourself an applause? An applause and say, hey, you know what? I might not be where I want to be, but at least I've taken some steps and done the work in the process. So own your power. And one last thing that I want you to think about as it relates to speaking up. In case you don't know, for what it's worth, speak up, own your voice, be represented. You deserve that. Express yourself freely. Speak up. Say something. Because why? As I said earlier, no one is going to save you unless you save yourself. So that's why, for me, this phrasal verb has a lot of importance. Because if I'm honest with myself, I was not that a couple years ago, or let alone a couple months ago. So, this is Teacher Will. Welcome to the ATW family. This is a place, hopefully, where you and I learn together. If you're new, click on that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so that when I drop a video, you are made aware of it. Speak up, speak up, speak up. And I bet if you decide to do that, you might be a little surprised with the results that you find on the other side.